Hi everyone. So welcome to today's Roznama session. Uh, Today is 9th of March and we'll be covering the important news from the Hindu, the Indian Express and the Times of India. Now, you see, the news tends to get repetitive. So it may happen that what we've been covering over the last 10 days gets repeated in news, but it's fine because it helps us in revision. Now, what are the important areas that we are going to be covering today? Basically, would include one is the Iran uh, conflict with Israel and US, and the appointment of the new supreme leader. Also, we are going to look at issues related to it, strikes in Lebanon, where Israel has bombed Lebanon, Beirut, which is the capital, and primarily because of the retaliation by the Hezbollah group, which is part of the axis of resistance. So one is we are going to look at Iran. We covered this yesterday also. Second, we are going to look at India winning the T20 World Cup, right? So one is the T20 World Cup, and India is the only country that has won this World Cup thrice. Okay, first time in 2007 under the captainship of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, and followed by 2024 under the captainship of Rohit Sharma, and now just yesterday we defeated New Zealand. Right, so there's 3 times that India has won the World Cup. Surya Kumar Yadav was captaining the Indian side. Then we are also going to look at the 93rd chess grandmaster from India. So that's covered in Hindu today. Aryan, right? He is the 93rd chess grandmaster. And so the name is not very important because we'll be adding quite a few by the time we write the Clat exam. But yes, we are going to look at FIDE in detail here, right? There was some news about the VG Ramji program, right? A scheme that replaced the Manrega. So we are also going to cover that, and primarily from the point of view of understanding the full form of it. And it is a centrally sponsored scheme. So what is a center sponsored scheme? There's a 60-40 ratio between center and states for the Northeast since 1910. So just a little bit idea about the VG Ramji scheme, right? And fifth is the All England Championship. All England Championship, where so we covered this yesterday also. So we are going to discuss about the All England Championship, right? That's about it, and just have a quick look. So this is the first article. So we've just collated the important articles for today. So I've come to these 5 pointers that we are going to be covering. One is Trump rejects settling war with Iran. Starmer speaks to him on West Asia. So basically what he has done is he has, so Keir Starmer is the Prime Minister of UK. And why was this article important is because US in a way snubbed at the Prime Minister of UK by saying that we don't need your support anymore for a war that we have already won. So that's a statement which is made by Donald Trump. We are going to look at it. And the second one is new supreme leader of Iran has been decided. So we're going to discuss about it. Mojtaba Khamenei, son of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. So he has been chosen as the new supreme leader. So it has been under wraps, but I just saw that they've finally announced it. Maybe the security threats, that's the reason they've not been announcing, but now they've finally announced the leader. So we're going to look at this. Then so that's a news which is again related to it. So here they have mentioned about Mojtaba Khamenei. So just look at the order. The first one was Ayatollah Khomeini. The second one was Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. And now his son is, of course, Ayatollah will be there. Mojtaba. Okay, Mojtaba Khamenei. Kha. It is Kha. So Kho, Khi, and Kha. That's the order here. All right. So that's again more of a comprehension thing, but from a Clat perspective, GK perspective, you should definitely know who is the new supreme leader of Iran. The kind of governance that you have in Iran, we mentioned yesterday also, is theocracy, where the religious leaders are ruling the government. So again, the strikes are happening. What was covered here is that Israel has struck the oil infrastructure, and so that was in news. Okay. The name Pezeshkian, who is Pezeshkian? He is the president of Iran. Whom did he replace? He replaced Ibrahim Raisi, who died in a helicopter crash, and this was last year. And now Pezeshkian is the president, right? And again, it's mentioned here, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's son Mojtaba as a successor. Okay, and what is Tehran? Tehran is the capital of Iran. So that's where the iron infrastructure has been damaged, and that's why you see this mushroom kind of fire, right? Now, I think this particular article that I've taken, so I just wanted to mention here that related to Iran, so I just mentioned, I think I've removed that already. Okay, anyways, so if you look at the Iran and Israel conflict that's happening, abhi tak we have seen, you know, the perspective of US. We've also seen India's perspective yesterday. So Iran ship Dana, which was, you know, blown apart by the US torpedoes. So in fact, you know, this particular Gale Island, which is south of China, it wasn't very far from there where it was attacked. So Jaishankar made a statement that the Digo Gracia Islands, which is, you know, which was handed over to Mauritius. So Digo Gracia is a military base which is still in the control of Britain. It's taken on lease now, and the US military is there. So his argument was that the Indian Ocean, US has its physical presence there, right? It's not that US is operating from the Western Hemisphere. They do have a presence in the Digo Gracia Islands. So you should know what is the Digo Gracia Islands, right? So last year, the deal was that these islands will be, the Digo Gracia Islands will be, you know, will be taken on lease for 25 years lease, and for which UK government is going to pay the Mauritius government. So this, so basically it's the Chagos Islands, right? And after Mauritius became independent in 1967, the Chagos Island were still retained by Britain. And the International Court of Justice, in fact, suggested that these islands should be given back to Mauritius, and this happened last year, that they agreed to give it back, except the Digo Gracia Islands, for which they continue to pay a certain rent amount to, by UK pays to the Mauritian government. Anyways, the idea here was that the US has a physical presence in the Indian Ocean, okay, and where it is at the Digo Gracia Islands, which is part of the Chagos Islands, okay. So new supreme leader. Then we have seen this particular infrastructure. Yeah, I think this particular article, you know, I've taken from the Hindu is, so that's the Chinese foreign minister, Wang Yi, and China is going to be playing a very critical role now because of such an erratic behavior by US. Now, how India hobnobs with China becomes important, right? And we are going to look at two critical aspects here. One is that we have a BRICS summit which is coming up in India this year, right? We have a BRICS summit that's coming up in India. And in fact, in February, there was the BRICS Sherpa meeting that took place. And so we are going to discuss a little bit about BRICS here. And this year's the BRICS summit, the first BRICS meeting happened in 2009. Okay. And the 17th meeting of BRICS was in Brazil last year. So India is going to be hosting the 18th meeting, right? So India is going to be hosting the 18th edition of BRICS, right? And in the 17th edition, they added Indonesia, and the 19th BRICS summit is going to be held in China, right? So a lot of meetings have happened over the last couple of years in which Modi has met Xi Jinping. One was in Kazan. So Kazan में कौन सी meeting हुई थी? Kazan में जो meeting हुई थी, that was the 16th BRICS summit was in Kazan, right? And so this article is important because one, it talks about BRICS, and second, it talks about Shanghai Cooperation Organization, right? And this is the second time when they had met. So one was the 16th BRICS summit, and the next time was the meeting at Kazan is in Russia, by the way. Do not confuse this with Kazakhstan. And the next one is the Tianjin SCO meeting, right? So we are talking about Shanghai Cooperation Organization. That's why I felt that this particular article introduces two very important organizations from a Clat perspective. We should know it. So one is BRICS and the other one is Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So we can have a little discussion about the Shanghai Cooperation Organization as well. Shanghai Cooperation Organization was set up in the year 2001, right? And the headquarters of Shanghai Cooperation Organization is in Beijing. BRICS doesn't have any headquarters per se. Okay, so Shanghai Cooperation Organization and the meeting of the SCO last year was in Tianjin. Okay, and so that's the reason Shanghai Cooperation Organization becomes important. So we're going to discuss this as well. Okay, yeah, and also what is coming up. So China has not made very hard statements till now, and the reason for this is that Trump is going to be visiting Beijing next year. So there is a Xi Jinping, who is the Chinese premier, and Donald Trump are going to be meeting next month, and so that's the reason there have been no harsh statements from China till now on the attack by Iran on Iran by US and Israel. All right, so that's why I have taken this up. Again, we have our foreign minister Jaishankar making a statement on the. He has to make a statement in Parliament on what's happening in the West Asia, so basically the Middle East, and so let's see what Jaishankar has to talk about in this particular meeting, and he's going to be answering about not criticizing the US-Israel attacks on Iran. So let's. This is more of, I mean, how he reacts to what opposition has been talking about, that we have been very subdued and the US is deciding whether we have to buy Russian oil or not, and the way we treated the Iranians in a way, because we invited them for a particular event, which was a Milan naval exercise where 60 countries are participating. And while it was going back, we could not provide them with enough security and, relief, and we could not help them out. We did not issue a statement from the topmost level at the Prime Minister office or even the Foreign Minister office. Our Foreign Secretary, in fact, went and made a note or something, but it did not come from the Prime Minister or the Foreign Minister condemning the attack by US torpedoes on the Iranian ship which had come to participate in the naval exercise called Milan. All right, so let's see what he says. So we probably might cover this tomorrow. Like I mentioned to you, the Viksit Bharat guarantee for Yojgar and Ajivika mission, right? This full form you should know, and this replaced the Mahatma Gandhi Manrega scheme, right? So Manrega scheme, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Empowerment Guarantee Act, which came in the year 2005, right, which was brought by the UPA government, and the name has now been changed to Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission. So that's why it's called VB, which is Viksit Bharat. We are looking at Viksit Bharat by 2047. G for guarantee, R for Rozgar, Ajivika is employment, right? Mission. So if you look at the previous one, so employment is Ajivika, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment. So the guarantee is for 125 days, right, of employment. All right, so we just should know what is a centrally sponsored scheme. They have not mentioned that part, but yes, generally it is 60-40. So the state does 40% and center does about 60% of funding. And in the northeastern states, it is 90:10. So the scheme is important. You could be asked, what is the full form of VB Ramji program? And what is the full form of Manrega? When was Manrega introduced? What are the critical aspects of the VB guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika mission? Right? So 125 days, there could be a pause. So a little detailing you can do about this. ठीक है, तो हम लोग आगे अब बढ़ते हैं. तो बेसिकली यहाँ पे आया था डिजाइन कॉन्टेस्ट के लिए क्या होगा, उसका लोगो कैसे होगा. So this is still in the ideation phase, the way it is going to be branded and all. All right. So there was a mention of the Chief Election Commissioner. The Bengal elections are going to happen this year. So you should generally know who the Chief Election Commissioner is. It's Gyanesh Kumar. And we have two election commissioners. Who are these election commissioners? We have Sukhpreet Singh Sandhu and Vivek Joshi. They are the election commissioners. So he's going to be visiting. So generally about the national elections, National Voters Day, which is 25th of January. You should know basic idea about that. When was, and so National Voters Day is 25th of January 1950. The election commission was set up, and Sukumar Sen was the first chief election commissioner, right? If you look at the powers of a CEC, in terms of power, he is equivalent to that of a Supreme Court judge. And even the removal process of the CEC is similar to that of how a Supreme Court judge is removed, wherein you need an effective majority in both the houses of parliament. Okay, so let's look at now this particular thing is what we mentioned yesterday. Om Birla, no confidence motion, right? So I mentioned this yesterday also. The first speaker against whom the no confidence motion, the first person, in fact, member of parliament was Manvilkar, right? So he was also the first speaker of the Lok Sabha, and now we have it against Om Birla. So 14 days. So they were. You need a minimum of 50 members of the lower house Lok Sabha to submit an application, and then a notice, 14 days notice is given. Till such time, the speaker, which is Om Birla, will not be able to preside. Then there is a voting, and what you need is a simple majority during the voting. Okay, so that bit. So now the the discussions are going to start, where finally it is going to end in a voting, right? So we have spoken about. So why I have covered this particular article is you should generally know that who is the Minister for Women and Child Development. It is Annapurna Devi, and we are talking about. So when we are talking about calls for end to gender discrimination, so we are taking it from yesterday because yesterday was the International Women's Day, right? And so this article also speaks about a lot of initiatives that the government has taken, right? And what are these initiatives? Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, right? Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, right? Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana and Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. So Mudra Yojana is more towards entrepreneurship of women, and Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. So all these programs become important, and we should especially look at the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao program, right? So that's the reason I've covered. And to mark Women's Day, the ministry organized a Shakti walk along the Kartavya Path. Kartavya Path was earlier Rajpath. that saw participation of women. So basically, this is all related to our International Women's Day. All right. But yes, what is that I'm going to learn from here? I'm going to study about Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao program, the year it started, right? Which ministries are involved with Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao program, right? So, of course, so there are 2-3 ministries which are working on this, right? And that's the reason you have the Union Minister of Women and Child Development participating in this. But if you look at Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, you also have the Ministry of Education, participating in this. Okay, then I've covered this article. I mean, this is more of a reading comprehension here. But what you should definitely know here is that the Wealth of Nation was written by Adam Smith, right? So that's the only thing that I can draw from the perspective of GK. So Adam Smith, Wealth of Nation is what you should know here. Otherwise, it's more of a reading comprehension article. Then we are looking at, we did this yesterday also, Gen Z protests happened in Nepal, and then KP Sharma Oli was thrown, removed as the Prime Minister, and the elections took place, and Bipin Shah has now going to be the new Prime Minister, and there was a makeshift Prime Minister who was a former Chief Justice of Nepal Supreme Court, Karki, and right. So now we are talking about the commission report about the Gen Z protests and all that, in which so many people were killed and there was a lot of violence and burning and all that happened. But the important thing that you should know here is that the Constitution of Nepal was formed in the year 2015, and who was the previous Prime Minister? KP Sharma Oli, and now who's going to be the new Prime Minister is Bipin Shah, right? Who was the interim Prime Minister? Former Supreme Court Chief Justice Karki. Okay, and yesterday we had done this exercise. What are the states in India bordering Nepal? Which is Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, and Sikkim. Okay, what are the water disputes we are having with them? So one is the Dharochul area, which is where we have the Kali River. So the source of Kali River is at dispute. So the Nepal currency shows part of India, which is, which they claim as, part of Nepal. So basically, Lipu Lake and Limpiadhura area are the issues, the source points where there is a conflict. And the other one is the Susta River, because Susta River has changed its course and more has come towards India. So we mentioned that yesterday. Okay. And you should know Treaty of Sigoli, because Treaty of Sigoli was between the Gorkha Kingdom and the British Kingdom, the British under the East India Company. And this was in 1814 when the Treaty of Sigoli was signed. Okay. So it was a Kali River, which was the boundary between India and Nepal. Okay. Also, you should know this, that Nepal is also the headquarters to SAARC, right? Kathmandu is where you have the SAARC headquarters. So in the comment box, please tell me what is the full form of SAARC, right? So after the Pulwama attacks, SAARC has been the Pahalgaon attacks, not Pulwama attacks. That was much earlier. So Pahalgaon attacks, SAARC from 2016 is under suspension. So that year in 2016, it was supposed to take place in Kathmandu itself. Okay? Right. So Nepal rejects the old, right? The old means here KP Sharma Olis and so basically the old regime, and now we have the new one is overstated. Again, more of an RC, thoughts of Gaurav, right? So let's see. So I've already covered this part. We're going to look at GM Arav. He is the new Grandmaster, and he's just 16 years old, and he belongs to Bombay. So he is the 93rd chess Grandmaster of India, right? And he's the 93rd chess Grandmaster. And see, from Maharashtra, we also had the Women's World Cup winner, this year, last year, Divya Deshmukh, right? Divya Deshmukh is also the 88 Grandmaster from India. So we have some news from today. We're going to cover that. Then, of course, I mean, I'm sure most of you are cricket aficionados here, and you've been following the match that happened yesterday. Now, the takeaway from this is that this is the third time that India has won the T20 World Cup, and we defeated New Zealand. The first T20 was in 2007, and in which we defeated Pakistan. Okay, and 2024, if I'm not mistaken, we defeated South Africa under the captainship of Rohit Sharma. The first one was MS Dhoni. Okay, and this was Suryakumar Yadav, and the man of the match was Jasprit Bumrah, and the man of the series was. So that's mentioned here. So 2024 was India, and then 2026 was 2026 was India, and then 2007. Okay. So Sanju Samson was the man of the match in the T20 World Cup. Man of the series was Sanju Samson. Right? He's done phenomenal batting, and I think there's a lot to learn from him because he made a comeback, and what a comeback! Where was the match played? It was played in the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. Okay, so that's cricket, and I can ask you some simple questions here. When was the International Cricket Council formed, the ICC? So the answer to this is 1909, and the headquarters of ICC is in Dubai, right? Earlier, the headquarters was in London, and International Cricket Council is headed by Jai Shah. And then we also discuss about BCCI. So BCCI was set up in the year 1928. The headquarters of BCCI is in Mumbai or Bombay, and BCCI is headed by Mithun Manas. Okay, Mithun Manas, who is the president. Rajiv Saxena is the vice president of BCCI. Okay, the Board of Cricket Control of India, and so he is the president. And then you have Rajiv Saxena as the vice president, and then you have Devajit Sethia, who is the Devajit Sethia is the secretary of BCCI. So these three names you should know. Okay, 1928 Mumbai, BCCI, and ICC ka Jai Shah is there, and 1909 it was set up. Headquarters is Dubai. And while we do this, you should also know about the Asian Cricket Council. Okay, now the Asian Cricket Council headquarters is also in Dubai, right? So in the comment box, I want you to answer who is the president of the Asian Cricket Council. He's a Pakistani. He's a Pakistani, and he's also one of the ministers in the Pakistan cabinet. And there was a scandal when the tournament was happening in December, when there was a handshaking incident after India defeated Pakistan in the Asian Cup finals. Okay, so I want to know from you who is the president of the Asian Cricket Council. Again, ACC ka jo headquarters is in Dubai. It was earlier in Colombo, and ACC was set up in the year 1983. Okay, so these are some of the important things that you should know as far as cricket is concerned, and you should also remember that the first competition was held in India. Pakistan has won this tournament just once, and we have had Australia also winning it just one. England has won it twice, okay, and even West Indies has won it twice, and India has of course won it 3 times, okay. And if you look at Pakistan, Australia, and Sri Lanka, they have won it one each, okay, the T20 World Cup. All right, and you should be knowing this that the 2028 Olympics which is going to be held in Los Angeles, right? They are going to be introducing cricket. And this is the second time that cricket is going to be introduced. The first time cricket was introduced in 1900, right? This particular Olympics was played in France. And now in 2028, they're going to be introducing cricket. So there is a great chance with the way India is going 2 years down the line. Who knows, we might just become the Olympic champions also, right? So this is going to be played in Los Angeles. In fact, besides cricket, they have also introduced 4 more games. So one is squash, right? And again, Indians are doing quite well in squash. And you have lacrosse, right? So it is lacrosse, and so lacrosse is one of the national sports of Canada, right? And so basically, you have a racket with a net, and you throw it, and you're supposed to put it in goal. So that's lacrosse. Then you have flag football, which is also going to be introduced. So lacrosse, flag football, and softball, baseball, right? So that is also going to be introduced. So lacrosse, which is the national sports of Canada. Then you have softball or baseball, as you call it, and cricket, and squash, and flag football. So these are the games that are going to be introduced in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. You know that, last month we also had the Winter Olympics started, and it ended in, so February we had the Winter Olympics, and this was in Italy, right? So 2026 you had the Winter Olympics in Italy, and then 2028 you have the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, and then 2030 you have again the Winter Olympics, which is going to be in France at the French Alps, and then 2032 you have the Olympics, which is going to be in Brisbane, and 2034 then you have the Winter Olympics, which is going to be in Utah, which is in USA, right? And 2036 is what India is bidding for. And you should also know this, that the Commonwealth Games, India is going to be hosting in the year 2030 in Ahmedabad, right? So, so 2030, yeah, I think the venue is Ahmedabad. I'm just slightly not sure about it. It might be Delhi or Ahmedabad, but as far as I know, it is either Ahmedabad or Delhi. So that I don't know, but yeah, 2030 is where India is going to be, hosting the Commonwealth Games. 2026 Commonwealth Games is going to be in Glasgow, and then it is going to be in India, right? So if India organizes these world-class sports, right, I'm sure, we have a great chance to, host the Olympics also. Anyway, so that's very important, India winning the World Cup. So a lot of news about it. Bumrah's man of the match, world champion, right? So that's the news for today. So I will just quickly cover, I'll just do a little bit of note making on what we have just covered today. And so from, the reason I picked up the sports article today is, sports has been coming in the Clat paper. You see, last year's Clat paper had, a passage on Olympics, and last year it had on chess, right? So you can't just skip sports. Clat over the last 2 years, we've had 2 passages on sports, and last year, ALET had 6 questions from sports. So sports becomes important. So now what I'm going to do now is, whatever from a GK perspective, what is that I can draw from today's session and my reading. So the intent is not reading comprehension. I see a lot of YouTube videos, for the heck of kind of just doing a YouTube session. They go on and on explaining a lot of things. This is not civil services preparation. We have to just pick the right stuff from the news from a GK perspective, right? So this is what I'm going to pick from today's session. First, few things are going to be repetitive, but yes, repetition means that it is going to go here. One is Iran, Israel, and USA conflict. Okay, again, repeating this few things again and again. The operation by USA was called Epic Fury. The operation by Iran was called True Promise. Code. Okay, the president of Iran is Pezeshkian. Pezeshkian. The president of Iran is Pezeshkian. His name is mentioned in articles. If you read the articles, you will find his name quite a few times. So Masoud Pezeshkian. So pick up these things. Masoud Pezeshkian is the prime minister, is the president of Iran, right? And whom have they chosen as the successor? Whom have they chosen as successor? That's also mentioned, right? Mojtaba Khamenei, right? Mojtaba Khamenei. His name would be there. So his picture is here. So Mojtaba Khamenei, son of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. So Iran as a topic is important. So what we'll just do is just Pezeshkian is the president, Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei. तो दिस इज खा. इसके पापा का नाम क्या था? खी. और उसके पहले कौन थे? खो. तो खो से खी हुआ और फिर खा हुआ. एंड इनको बहुत मौज आता है, तो मौज ताबा, जस्ट अ वे टू रिमेम्बर. ठीक है. व्हाट एल्स आई कैन ड्रॉ फ्रॉम टुडेज थिंग इज ये बाकी सब ठीक है, ये सब चल रहा है. अटैक हुआ तेहरान पे और न्यू सुप्रीम लीडर हो गया. सो हमने कल भी इसको डिस्कस किया था. व्हाट इज द फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नेंस इन ईरान? थियोक्रेसी. Theocracy. So what is theocracy? Is basically where the religious leaders are ruling the country, right? So the supreme leader here is much more powerful than their parliament, their Supreme Court. Okay, so theocracy, right? And we recently also, ये क्या geopolitics में हो रहा है? अभी हुआ क्या? Basically exercise मिलन हो रहा था. कौन सा exercise हो रहा था? मिलन, where this Iranian ship had also participated. There were some 60 countries that participated. Okay, the name was Dana. So INS, the ship from Iran, there are 3 ships that participated. This particular ship at the south of Sri Lanka, near Galley Islands, this was torpedoed by the American submarine. And so also I just mentioned to you the Diego Garcia Islands. The Diego Garcia Islands was in news. The Diego Garcia Islands. So these are part of the Chagos Islands. Chagos Islands now belongs to Mauritius, right? And this was handed over by UK to Mauritius. But the Diego Garcia Islands continues to be on lease. UK it belongs to Mauritius, but yes, it is leased out to UK, and you have the American military presence here. So America does have presence in the Indian Ocean. Okay, all right. So this is what. And yesterday we definitely discussed about the Strait of Hormuz. Yesterday we discussed about the Strait of Hormuz. Okay. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So ठीक है, तो ईरान वाला जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट चल रहा है, then yesterday we've also done what are the articles, what are the countries that neighbor, it's fine, what are the countries that are neighboring Iran? The countries that are neighboring Iran are Pakistan, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, then you have the Caspian Sea, then you have Azerbaijan, Armenia, Turkey, and Iraq. Okay, so these are the countries. Then you should also know about the Persian Gulf region, and then you have the Strait of Hormuz, which is 33 kilometers, and then you have the Gulf of Oman, and Gulf of Oman into the Arabian Sea. So we showed a map also yesterday. Important क्यों है इंडिया और ईरान का रिलेशन सॉलिड है, और हम लोग का एक चाबहार पोर्ट है which India has taken on lease from 2015. We have it on lease till 2035, and this particular port, it's a deep sea port, becomes part also of the international north-south corridor, right? So from the Kandla port in Gujarat and the Jawahar port, right? If we have to transport something, it goes to the Chabahar port in Iran, and from the Chabahar port, it can go to Afghanistan, it can go through the Central Asian countries to Russia. That's why it's an important corridor that's being developed. The biggest port of Iran is the Bandar Abbas port, which is very close to the Strait of Hormuz, थोड़ा अंदर की तरफ है. और ये जो port है, it is not very far from the Gwadar, and Gwadar port is part of the CPEC, which is the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. So that's part of the Belt and Road Initiative of China. Okay, so these are just a few pointers that you should keep in mind. Then we mentioned about the China's is not showing a lot of aggression, right? And why is China not showing aggression? Because Trump is supposed to be visiting China next month. Okay, and China is going to be hosting Trump next month. So there are no hard statements, but yes, India's relation with China is quite critical. Trump has been erratic, and he's made a lot of comments in which he has tried to subdue India, not just through tariffs, but a lot of immature-ish statements against our supremacy here. And opposition obviously has been taking advantage of this. And we have a lot of trade going on with USA. So there would obviously be some constraints why the government is not speaking up aggressively. They're handling it diplomatically. I would just like to point here that the important meetings that China has had with India, I've already mentioned that. We're going to cover some of them now. First is India is going to be hosting the 18th edition of BRICS. So just let's have a little look at the BRICS part now. So BRICS, जो term है, this was coined by this person called Jim O'Neill, right? So this guy was working with Goldman Sachs, and he coined this term, Jim O'Neill. The person who coined this term is Jim O'Neill. The first meeting of BRICS took place in the year 2009, and this was in Yekaterinburg in Russia. तो सबसे पहले जो मीटिंग हुई थी, ये हुई थी ब्रिक की, ब्राजील, रशिया, इंडिया एंड चाइना, right? The following year, 2010, they invited South Africa, and South Africa in 2011 participated for the first time. Okay, and thereafter they had a very important meeting in the year 2014. This meeting was in a place called Fortaleza in Brazil, which led to the setup of two very important organizations. One is the New Development Bank, right, which is headquartered in Shanghai and headed by Dilma Rousseff, and the other one was the Contingency Reserve Fund. If we look at New Development Bank, this was an organization that was set up, a bank that was set up, which would be an alternate to the World Bank, right? And similarly, the Contingency Reserve Fund for any country having a balance of payment crisis, right? And India has also contributed a corpus amount of $18 billion of the total $100 billion corpus amount. So any country having a crisis, so India in this case can take double of that amount. So India, Russia, and Brazil, three of these countries contributed 18 each, right? And $5 billion was contributed by South Africa, and the balance, which is 41%, was contributed by China, right? So this is an organization which is going to help countries recover from a balance of payment crisis. So by funding, okay. So an organization which is an alternate to the International Monetary Fund. Okay. So IMF, US plays a very dominant role. US has got almost 17% voting rights in IMF. IMF has a quota system, and US with its allies dominates which country, dominates the decisions, and therefore the funds किसके पास जाना. तो ब्रिक्स एक ऑल्टरनेट ग्रुप निकला, उसी की मीटिंग इस साल इंडिया में, उसका पहला शेरपा मीटिंग इंडिया में हुआ. अब ब्रिक्स में और मेंबर्स हो गए, राइट, बिसाइड्स इंडिया, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and South Africa. In the year 2015 BRICS summit जो हुआ, this was in Brazil in the year 2023. They invited 6 countries. Argentina rejected the proposal, but 5 countries have accepted the proposal. Who are these? One was Saudi Arabia, one was Egypt, Ethiopia, and then UAE and Iran. So these 5 countries have joined. So UAE, Iran, from the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, right? इसको हम consider करते हैं as a member, ठीक है? UAE, Iran, and then from the Middle East, and then we have Ethiopia, and we have Egypt. ठीक है? तो ये 5 countries add हो गए. अर्जेंटीना में उस समय गवर्नमेंट चेंज हुई, so they rejected the proposal. ठीक है? मिलर्स आया वहां नया प्रेसिडेंट, वो भी ट्रम्प की तरह मैड मैन है, उसने रिजेक्ट कर दिया. ये 5 लोग आ गए, ठीक है. तो ये 15th ब्रिक्स समिट है. और जो लास्ट ईयर ब्रिक्स की मीटिंग हुई है, उसमें दे इनवाइटेड इंडोनेशिया. तो अगर तुम अब देखो, ये 5-5 हो गया 10, और इंडोनेशिया को लेकर के 11 मेंबर्स हैं ब्रिक्स के. उसकी 18वीं मीटिंग इस साल इंडिया में, और उसकी 19वीं मीटिंग जो होगी वो अगले साल चाइना में होगी, ठीक है. एंड देयर इज अ चांस दैट जी जिनपिंग इज गोइंग टू विजिट इंडिया फॉर द ब्रिक्स समिट. तो चाइना और इंडिया का जो बनहौमी है बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि जियो पॉलिटिक्स एकदम चेंज होगी. द वे ट्रम्प हैज स्नब्ड कैनेडा मार्क कार्नी इज accepted now. There is a new world order, and he had a meeting with Xi Jinping too. The world order is changing because of the the policies of Trump, who has defied the international law. So in a way, one lunatic can change the complete dynamics of the world, right? Right. So you should know who the foreign minister of China is. It's Wang Yi. Okay. Then we have the VB Ramji scheme. We've already mentioned this. It is basically replace the मनरेगा. तो मुझे लगता है ज़्यादा words का ही play हुआ है, और ठीक है, it's mostly words का play here. ठीक है, तो ये वाला पार्ट हो गया. तो वीजी राम जी हमने कर लिया. इसके लिए लोग नया वो ला रहे हैं, 125 डेज का गारंटी स्कीम है. यू शुड नो व्हाट इज द फुल फॉर्म ऑफ दिस. It's called the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika, right? Mission, right? So this is called Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission, ग्रामीण. ठीक है, तो ये आप याद रखिएगा. और ये सेंटर स्पॉन्सर्ड स्कीम है. इसमें स्टेट का कंट्रीब्यूशन 40% है और सेंटर का कंट्रीब्यूशन 60% है. नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स में 90-10. ठीक है, तो देखो, अब इससे हम एक और चीज को लिंक कर सकते हैं, फाइनेंस कमीशन. तो सेंटर और स्टेट का जो पैसा कितना जाएगा, लॉट होगा, कितना डिवीजन होगा, टैक्सेस का क्या डिवीजन होगा, वो फाइनेंस कमीशन करता है. तो 16th फाइनेंस कमीशन अभी एक्शन में है. अरविंद पानग्रे इज हेडिंग द 16th फाइनेंस कमीशन. ठीक है, तो ये रिलेटेड टॉपिक था इसके. फिर हमने चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर का देख लिया. अगेन एन इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक, यू शुड नो बेसिकली हु द चीफ सीईसी इज, हु आर द अदर 2 इलेक्शन कमिश्नर्स, ज्ञानेश कुमार, सुखबीर सिंह संधू, विवेक जोशी. हेड कौन है? ये powers equivalent to that of a Supreme Court judge. Removal also for this, the CEC is equivalent to the removal of a Supreme Court judge. ठीक है. और दूसरी बात है, जो दूसरे हैं उनको appointment is by the president, right? We are dealing with the article 324 to article 329. और बाकी जो CEC है, he can remove the other 2 election commissioners. But जो CEC है, that he can only be removed by the process is similar to that of a Supreme Court. Alright, तो ये वाला पार्ट हो गया. हमने नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन स्पीकर का भी देखा है यहाँ पे. सबसे पहले किसके अगेंस्ट नो कॉन्फिडेंस आया था? इट वाज JN मानविलकर, वाज द फर्स्ट लोकसभा स्पीकर. इस बार किसके अगेंस्ट आया है? ओम बिरला का. क्या प्रोसेस होता है? मिनिमम 50 मेंबर्स नोटिस देते हैं, उसके बाद 14 डेज का एक बार लेटर देते हैं, फिर 14 डेज का एक टाइम प्रिपरेशन का होता है, जिसमें ओम बिरला कैन नॉट डिसाइड इन द लोअर हाउस. अब डिस्कशन शुरू हो रहा है. ठीक है, तो इसके बारे में ये बात चल रही है. व्हाट इज द स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ लोकसभा? देखो, तुम्हें यहाँ से पता लग जाएगा. 543 इज द स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ द लोकसभा. इसमें जो अल्टीमेटली यू नीड अ सिंपल मेजोरिटी. ठीक है, तो यू नीड अ सिंपल मेजोरिटी इन द एंड. ऑलराइट, तो हम लोग यहाँ पे सिंपल मेजोरिटी कहेंगे of the members who are present and vote. Right, so yesterday was International Women's Day, so we have mentioned this because we are looking at a few important schemes of the government, like the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme. And this particular scheme is by the Ministry of Women and Child Development, and also and Ministry of Education. Okay, Dharmendra Pradhan is heading that, and Ministry of Women and Child Development is headed by Anupurna Devi. Right, Adam Smith, Wealth of Nation, remember that. And now we have a new Prime Minister of Nepal. What is the name of the Prime Minister? Is Bipin Shah. Okay, Bipin Shah. Then I think I just missed out one part, and yeah, so we 93rd chess grandmaster. तो चेस में देखो, स्पोर्ट्स के आज 3-4 न्यूज हो गए. हमने वर्ल्ड कप को तो कवर कर ही लिया. We also have to look at the All England Championship. The All England Championship, right? Lakshya Sen was the runners-up. Lakshya Sen was the runner-up, and Lin Yi, he is from Taiwan. He is from Taiwan, and he is the world number 11. So he has won this. So this is little unlucky for Lakshya Sen because it's the second time that he has entered the finals, right? So till date from India, only 2 people have won the All England Championship. This is one of the most prestigious badminton tournament. And who are these guys? There are 2 of them. One is Paula Gopichand, okay, Gopichand, who won in the year 2001, right? And the other person is Prakash Patuk. Okay, Prakash Patukon, and this was in the year 1980. Right? So, Arav is the new grandmaster. Now, you should know some basics here. See, chess was asked this year in the Clat paper. They asked this question that who was the first world champions? Chess ka. So, that's William Stens. William Stens is the first world champion. और जो फिडे इसकी बॉडी है, फिडे ये सेटअप हुई है, फिडे वो सेटअप इन द ईयर 1924। ठीक है, पहले फिडे का जो हेडक्वार्टर्स था वो था पेरिस में, एंड नाउ इट इज इन लुजियान इन स्विट्जरलैंड। तो लुजियान स्विट्जरलैंड में इसका हेडक्वार्टर्स है। और देखो स्विट्जरलैंड लुजियान में मोर देन 60 स्पोर्टिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के हेडक्वार्टर्स। ठीक है, इनफैक्ट आईओसी का, इंटरनेशनल ओलंपिक कमेटी का भी जो हेडक्वार्टर्स है वो कहाँ पे है, लुजियान में। और फिडे को हेड करता है आर्काडी डोकोविच। और फिडे का जो वाइस प्रेसिडेंट है या डेप्यूटी प्रेसिडेंट है, दैट्स विश्वनाथन आनंद। ठीक है, विश्वनाथन आनंद इज अ डेप्यूटी प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ फिडे। तो इससे हमने जो टॉपिक उठाया है वो फिडे का उठाया। और ग्रैंड मास्टर बनने के लिए एक नेसेसिटी है कि तुम्हें 2500 किलो पॉइंट चाहिए। तो ये एक मिनिमम क्राइटेरिया है कि तुम्हें 2500 पॉइंट चाहिए। ठीक है, और आज की डेट में फ्रॉम इंडिया देयर 93, एंड there are 4 women grandmasters. There are 4 grandmasters who are women in this 93 ka list. Who are these? The first one was Humpy. The second one was Harika. The third one was Praganan's sister, Vaishali. And now the world champion, the World Cup winner in women, Divya Deshmukh from Maharashtra. So Arav is also from Maharashtra, Divya Deshmukh. He became the 88th Grandmaster. ठीक है, और इंडिया का पहला ग्रैंड मास्टर था विश्वनाथन आनंद इन द ईयर 1988। इज अ 5-time वर्ल्ड चैंपियन। ठीक है, सबसे ज्यादा वर्ल्ड चैंपियन कौन जीता है? कार्लसन। पहला कौन जीता था? विलियम स्टिन्स। ये क्लैट का क्वेश्चन। और अभी तक हाईएस्ट ईओ पॉइंट्स किस प्लेयर का रहा है? मैग्नस कार्लसन। उसने किया है 2881 पॉइंट्स। और सेकंड हाईएस्ट किसका रहा है? गैरी कैस्परोव का। ठीक है, एक क्वेश्चन इनफैक्ट 4 साल पहले क्लैट में आया था कि गैरी कैस्परोव ने कौन से सुपर कंप्यूटर से हारा था। तो उस कंप्यूटर का नाम था डीप ब्लू। ठीक है, और अभी जो मैग्नस कार्लसन है, ही इज अ प्रेजेंट वर्ल्ड चैंपियन ऑफ फ्रीस्टाइल चेस, व्हिच इज अ न्यू कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ चेस दैट वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड, एंड ही इज आल्सो द विनर ऑफ रैपिड एंड ब्लिट्स। ठीक है, और चेस वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप जो हुआ था, दैट वाज वन बाय गुकेश। ही डिफीटेड डिन लैरन। ठीक है, और ये जो चेस का वर्ल्ड कप हुआ था, ओके, इट वाज वन बाय जोकोविच। It was in Goa, Djokovic, and women was won by Divya Deshmukh. ठीक है, so women was won by Divya Deshmukh. So just remember these important aspects. और अभी तक टोटल एक और चीज इंपॉर्टेंट याद रखना कि केवल 16 लोग हैं वर्ल्ड में जो 2800 के ऊपर पॉइंट्स पहुंचे। 2800 के ऊपर, और इंडिया से केवल 2। ठीक है, इंडिया से केवल 2। फर्स्ट वाज विश्वनाथन आनंद, who was India's first grandmaster in the year 1988, and the second one is Arjun Agassi. ठीक है, और दूसरी बात याद रखना चेस रिलेटेड, दैट चेस का ओलंपियाड होता है। ठीक है, बहुत सारे गेम्स है, चेस का ओलंपियाड होता है। वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप होता है, कैंडिडेट्स ओपन होता है, और एक होता है ओलंपियाड। तो 45th चेस ओलंपियाड जो था वो हंगरी बुदापेस्ट में खेला गया था, उसके कैपिटल में, विच इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज अ सिटी ऑफ बाथ। उसमें इंडिया जीता था, ओके, इन द ओपन कैटेगरी एज वेल एज इन द वुमेन्स कैटेगरी। और जो 46 चेस ओलंपियाड इस साल है वो खेला जा रहा है उज्बेकिस्तान में। ठीक है, इट इज गोइंग टू बी प्लेड इन ताशकेंट, द कैपिटल ऑफ उज्बेकिस्तान। ठीक है, सो दैट्स कॉल्ड द चेस ओलंपियाड। ठीक है, और दूसरी बात, चेस ओलंपिक्स का पार्ट नहीं है। इट वाज इंट्रोड्यूस एज एग्जीबिशन गेम इन द ईयर 2000 सिडनी ओलंपिक्स। ठीक है, 2000 सिडनी ओलंपिक्स में इट वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड एज अ एग्जीबिशन गेम. It was the same Sydney Olympics where we got our first woman, Karna Maleshwari, in weightlifting. She won a bronze medal for India. The first woman to win an Olympic medal was Karna Maleshwari. Okay? तो ये याद रखना. दूसरा ये भी याद रखना विश्वनाथन आनंद के बारे में. He is a deputy director here. I mean, the second guy in FIDE. He was India's first grandmaster and youngest grandmaster. Then he was India's first grandmaster. The youngest world champion is D. Gukesh. Also, this guy, Vishnathan Anand, won the first Khel Ratan Award in the year 1991-92. So, ab itna yaad rakhega regarding FIDE. Okay. So, guys, I think I've covered enough for today. A lot of pointers that I've given you. Just build on these pointers, and I would again suggest that whenever we are covering GK, just cover from a topic 6 to 7 important points. I really hate to say this, but when I see a lot of videos on the YouTube, you know, the essence is missing. I mean, padhana is one thing that you teach a lot of stuff. There's a PPT and, you know, you do all the gyan baji. But what we have to basically draw from these articles is missing. Okay? In fact, in today's article, there is also mention of G2 that people are talking about. Okay? And what is G2? So basically, USA and China ki baare mein baat kar rahe hain ki they form a group of two, right? So we have to just pick few things and make a notes. And if you're doing this on a daily basis, I think a lot of static information is going to be good. All right. So we will see you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed today's Roznama. If you like today's session, please give a thumbs up, and you can also put in a few comments on how you like this session. Thank you very much. Thanks. Bye-bye.